Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, we will learn how to create portfolio website using only HTML and CSS. As you can see here on my computer screen, I have this one logo. Also, I have this one background color. Also, on my right side, I have this one navigation. You can see there's some hover effect on this navigation. Also, we have this text, and on our left side, we have this one image. You can see this image, the color changes. That is because we're using CSS filter. So also we have this text, and also we have this small paragraph. Also we have these four boxes, that is social media icons, and you can see there's some beautiful hover effect. We will create this simple portfolio website design using only HTML and CSS. So before starting this video, kindly please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also share with your fellow developers. So without wasting time, let's start the video. Hello guys, welcome back again. So here I've created one folder called portfolio website. I have this one folder. Now this folder, inside this folder, I have one image that I'll be using to create this portfolio website using only HTML and CSS. Now I'll provide this one image in my video link description so that you can also download and follow the tutorial. Now let's open this folder with our text editor. So I'm using VS Code. Now inside my text editor, I will create one file. So create file. In this file, I will name it index.html. Also, I will add the basic HTML structure. Next, I'm going to change my title. Next, we need to add one more file, that is style.css. Now we need to link our CSS to HTML. So by doing that, we need to use this link tag, link CSS, and it will automatically connect your CSS to HTML. So after this, save your file, go back to your folder. Now double click index.html and it will open this in our browser. Next, we need to add a library. So I will type cdn, open the first link. Now here we are going to type font awesome. So I need to add this library called font awesome. Okay, so click this one. Now also we need to choose the version. So scroll all the way down. So I will choose 5.15.3. Okay, so copy this URL, go back to your text editor. Here I'm going to add one link tag again. This time I will remove the CSS and I will replace my URL. Now after this, come under your body. Under the body, here we will create one div with a class name header. Inside this div, I will add nav, one nav, and inside this nav I will add anchor tag. For this, I will add one class, that is logo. Next, I will add my text as a logo. After this, let's create one div with a class name navlinks. Inside this navlinks, I will add UL, an ordered list, and I will add my list. I will use anchor tag. Also here, I will add my text home. Now simply what you need to do is simply copy this and duplicate, change your text, and not lastly, let's add one more list. Okay, we'll add one more list. Connect. Now simply save this and go back to your browser, refresh. Now you can see we have our logo and our menu list. Now come back to your text editor. After this, now I'm going to create one div with a class name left sidebar. Inside this div, I will not add anything. So after this div, I will create one row. So I'll create one div with a class name row. Inside this row, I'm going to add img. So I'm going to add my image which is pic.png. Also, we don't need this, so I'm going to remove this alt. After this img, we need to add another div with a class name right column. Okay, so this column I'm going to add h1 tag, and I'm going to add a text. Also here I'm going to add break line, and here I'm going to say web developer. Okay, so after this h1 tag we need to add paragraph, so I'll use the p tag to add paragraph. So here I'm going to add my paragraph. Let's say I'll say something like I have 5 years of experience, 5 years experience. I have over 5 years, okay, experience in the web development industry, and have worked with more than 20 clients. Okay, 20 clients nationwide. Let me just start from here so that you can see my text. So after this p tag, we need to add our social media icons. So we need to add 4 social media icons, guys. Okay, so for that we need to create one more div with a class name social media. Inside this div we'll add our social media icon. So I will create one div with a class name icon, and here I'm going to add my I tag. Also I'll give it a class. Facebook. Okay, so after this we need to add anchor tag. That's like a link where if someone clicks your on such as, like, let's say this is Facebook, right? So if I click this Facebook on your page, it takes me to your Facebook page. Okay, that's why we need to use this anchor tag. It will act as a link. For now I don't want to add any Facebook link, page link. Okay, so I'll just leave empty, and here we don't need to add anything. So inside this anchor tag I will add the I tag, then I'll create class. Here I'm going to say external. I'm adding another icon. Okay, so this is like a link. So when I hover my Facebook icon, this icon will appear on top of it. Okay, and then I'll just say alt. So after this, all we need to do is simply, after this div tag, we need to copy from this div to here. So simply copy this. So we need to create 3 more social media icons. Okay, so let's change first this one. So here, let's say this time I will just say Twitter. Remove the F. Again, create another icon. So this time I'm going to give it something like YouTube. Lastly, let's say lastly I'm going to add my Instagram. So I'll just add here my icon, which is Instagram. Now that's perfect. Now let's save and see the changes that we made. Now you can see we have our image, our text, our h1 tag. This is the h1 heading. Also we have our paragraph. Also now here you can see we have our 4 social media icons with this external link. So what happens here is when I click this Facebook icon, this will hover on top of this icon. Okay, so it takes me to this, acts as a external link, this icon. Okay, so come back to your text editor. So after this we need to add some CSS styling. So go to your style.css. Here I'm going to, firstly let's add basic CSS, like I'll give margin 0, padding 0. Next let's add font family. So here I'm going to add my favorite font family, which is Poppins, and I'll add sans serif. Come here, let's start with our header, class header. Now this class is, now here this is what's happening, guys. Okay, so if you're wondering what is dot means the class, and also we can use the number tag. This one means class ID. Okay, so do not confuse each other. Okay, so this dot means header. That is because if we go back to our let's go back to our index.html. Here you can see we created this class called header. Now this is what we are going to style the whole of this up to here. Okay, so we need to add styling in our header. So I'll give it min height. Sorry, should be here min height. So for min height, I will give it 100 view height. Next, I will add width of 100%. Background, I'll give it black. So I'm using color code. You can write black if you want in a text plain text. Okay, so next I'll add again color. I'll give it white. Lastly, I will add position to be relative. Next is my nav. So my nav is not a class, so it's just nav. So here we didn't create any class. If we go back to our HTML, you can see we created this nav. You can see it doesn't have a class or an ID. Okay, it's just nav. So for that nav, I will add display to be flex. Also, I will add justify content to be at the center. Also, align items center. Next, I will add position to be relative. Z index, I'll give it 1. Simply save your file. Now come back to your browser. Now you can see our logo. So there's some error. So let's just change our justify content to be space between. Also here you can see we removed something. So I think now is okay. Let me just also that you can see clear. So far this is what we have added in our CSS. Now save your file, come back to your browser, refresh it. Now you can see we have this amazing background color, although it's not amazing. So I choose black. You can choose the color you want. So for me, I want it to be black. Next, let's continue. The next class I want to edit is my logo. For my logo, I'm going to add some text decoration to be none. Also, I will add color to be white. Let me just remove this cursor so that you can see clear what I'm doing here. So next, I'll add font size of 30 pixel. Font weight, bold, padding top 10 pixel. Next, also I'll add padding left to be 10%. Next is my navlinks, my class called navlinks. For this class, I will say text align to be at the center, or center not. Let's take it to right. Okay. So because we need space for our logo. So next I will add background. So here I'm going to add color code. That is red, almost red. Next is padding. For my padding, I will give it 10 pixel by 30 pixel. Sorry, should be 30. After this, we need to add border bottom. So I'll choose this one, border bottom left radius. Okay. For this one, I'll just give it 18 pixel. Next is my list menu. So I'll say nav links list. Then I'll choose first. We need to say if we go back to our index HTML, you can see that we have created one UL. So this way now we're styling here. Okay, guys. So here you can see we created one UL. That's an ordered list, and then we created a list, and then we have given anchor tags. Okay. So for that, I'll say UL, then li. For this one, I will say I will add list style to be none. Next, I will add display to be inline block. Lastly, here I'm going to add padding 10 pixel by 25 pixel. Again, simply copy the whole of this. And then here I'm going to add my a tag, that's anchor tag. For this one, I will add color to be white. Also, we need to add text decoration to be none. Sorry, should be none. Lastly, I'm going to add font size of 18 pixel. After this, again, we need to add some hover effect. So I'll add hover effect on our list, menu list. So here I'm going to choose black. So you can see here, the first one here, this is white, then it will change to black. So when the original color of our list items is white, so when I hover it, it will be black. Next, so simply let's see if let's see this. Okay, save your file, come back to your browser, refresh it. Now you can see we have this background color. Now you can see it's white. All of them are white. Okay. Now let's try to hover our list items. You can see our menu list. Okay, this is the list items. Now let's continue. Next, what I need to style is my left sidebar from here now. Okay, plus our images. So for that, I will just say dot left sidebar because that's a class. So for this one, I'll add width of 20%. Next, we need to add height of 100%. Position, change it to absolute. Left 0, and also top to be 0. Also, I'm going to add background to be black. Next is my class row. For this class, I'll add padding 0, 10%. Display to be flex. Also, I'll add align items flex end. Next, I'll add justify content to be space between. Position to be relative. And lastly, I'm going to add margin top to be negative 1%. Next is my class left col, which col means column. Okay, so we created row, then we created columns for our social media icons. Okay, For this class, I will just say flex basis to be 40%. Next is my right column. So let's confirm that. Okay. So here we created right column. You can see. So here we need to create one more thing, that is our left column. Okay. So for that, come back to your index page. So after this row, we need to add one div with a class name left col. Okay. We need to add one div with a class name. One div with a class name left col. Okay. Simply, I'm going to cut this. Then at the end of this image, that's okay. So simply come here. That's okay now. Okay. Save that. Now let's continue. So for my right column, I will add flex basis also to be 55%. Now save this and go back to your browser, refresh it. Now you can see we have our image and our logo. So far we are okay. So next, let's move on. So this time I'm going to say left col. Then here I'm going to style my image, that is img. Here I'm going to add width of 80%. Next, I'll add cursor to be pointer. Filter. So here what I want to do is, whenever I hover my image, I want to change it to black and white. Okay, so when I filter my image, I want to change the original color to black and white. So for that, I'll use this CSS filter. Then I'll change it to grayscale, and then I'll give it 0. Also, I will add transition of, I'll say filter 1 second. Okay. So now if you let's save this, go back to your browser, refresh it. Sorry. Now refresh it. Still there's no changes. So let's continue. So I'll add hover effect. Then I'm going to say left col img. Then I'm going to add hover. Then I'll choose the CSS filter, grayscale 1. Now if you save this file now and go back to your browser, refresh it. Now you can see if we hover this image, it will change the color to gray. Okay. You can see there's some CSS filter here. You see the color changes to black and white. That is just gray. Okay. Or black and white. So next, let's continue. Right call. Here I'm going to start with h1 tag. For this one, I'll add font style to be 55 pixel. Also, we need to add font weight of 600. After this, let's also style our p tag, that's paragraph. I'll add color. So I'll choose gray. So also I'll add margin of 20 pixel. Sorry. Should be 20 pixel by 0, then by 70 pixel. Next is my social media class. For this class, I will add display to be flex. Also, we need to add margin top of 30 pixel. Now save your file. Come back to your browser, refresh your web page. Now you can see we have our text and our paragraph. So now we're going to edit our social media icons. Okay, that's our last thing. So here I'm going to say icon. That's the class, this class icon. Okay, for this one I will add width of 100 pixel. Also we need to add height 100 pixel, background, align items, center. Also I'll add display to be flex, justify content, center, position to be relative, margin right. For this one I will give it 20 pixel. Also margin left, or let's change it to bottom. Okay, for margin bottom I will give it 20 pixel. To border radius, 6 pixel, overflow to be hidden. And lastly I will add transition, then I will just say transform 0.5 second. Next is my class icon, then I tag width. Here I'm going to add one thing, that is width. I'll give it 28 pixel. Next is my anchor tag, a tag. For this one I will add position to be absolute. So after this we need to add top and left to be 0. Both of it I will give it 0. So next I'll add width and height, which I'll give it also 100%. That's perfect. Next I'll add background. Next I will say display to be flex. Also we need to add align items to be center, justify content, center. Also we need to add opacity of 0, and lastly transition 0.5 second. Next we need to add some hover effect, so I'll choose hover. So here I will add opacity 1. Next I will add hover effect on my icons. For my icon I will give it I'll just say transform. I'll choose the transform, CSS transform. Then I'll just say translate Y. Here I'm going to say -5 pixel. Okay, simply save your file. That's all for now. We have finished for our CSS. Now go back to your browser, refresh it. Now here you can see we have our logo, our image, our background color. So first what we did is we created this logo, then we created our list items. You can see there's some beautiful hover effect. You can see the color changes from white to black. Also we have the background color as black. Also on the right side we have this image, on the left side we have this image. You can see there's some CSS filter. You can see the color changes to gray. Also we have this text, that's h1 tag. Also we created our paragraph, this is the p tag. And lastly here is we have our 4 social media icons. Now let's try to hover it. Now you can see the color changes from gray to red. Also you can see when we hover our, let's say we have this Facebook icon, you can see we have this external icon. Okay, now if I click this it will take me to Facebook page, but for now I haven't added any link, so it's just blank. So guys, we have completed creating our personal portfolio website using only HTML and CSS. So that's all for our today's video. So guys, if you think this video was very helpful, kindly please subscribe to our channel. and also don't forget to share with your fellow developers. So till next time, bye.